Okay, so in this example here, we have more of a challenging type of algebra problem. So let's go ahead and read it and then we'll talk about how we're going to set it up. It says a camper lights 2 candles of different thickness before going to bed. One candle takes 12 hours to burn while the other candle only takes 9 hours to burn. The camper wakes up in the middle of the night and realizes one candle is exactly twice the height as the other candle. How long was the camper sleeping before waking up? So there's a lot of information here and it's kind of difficult to understand where you even begin. But the first thing that we have to understand here is that the height of both of these candles, it is going to be the same. Now they don't give you the height, but you can come up with your own height here. And what we'll say is the height of this candle is going to be 36 inches. So I'm going to say here, height is equal to 36 inches. And there is a reason why I picked 36. I mean, you could pick any height that you want. But we are going to have to get the burn rate for this problem, meaning I'm going to have to figure out what the burn rate is for that first candle in inches per hour, and I'm going to have to figure out the burn rate for that second candle in inches per hour. And if you look at the time that we're provided here, we're given 12 hours and we're given 9 hours. Okay, I can see that here. So I know that 36 divided by 12, that will result in an integer. And if I do 36 divided by 9, that will also result in an integer, meaning I'm not dealing with any fractional values, okay? So what I'm going to say here for candle 1, the burn rate is going to be 36 divided by 12. This will be equal to 3 inches per hour, okay? There's my burn rate for the first one. Now for the second one, I get the following. I'm going to get 36 divided by 9, that will give me 4 inches per hour. So 4 inches per hour, okay? And so from here, think about how you can form an equation, okay? I don't want to guess and check here. I want to form an equation, that way I can get the answer every single time, regardless of what numbers I'm given here. So think of this here. You're going to be starting at 36 inches on both candles, right? That is the height of the candle. So if I do my first candle, I'm going to start at 36 inches. And if I subtract the burn rate, what happens here? So minus 3. Well, the problem here is this part right here is going to be in inches, whereas this part here is going to be in inches per hour, meaning our units do not line up here. But if I multiply the burn rate by time, so if I put a T here for time, that means this will now be inches, and this will also now be inches. And I know that because if I do inches per hour, which is my 3, right? This is in inches per hour, and I multiply it by time, well, my hours will cancel and I'm left with inches, right? Meaning my units line up here, that's what you want. So in other words, if I plug in a value for time, that is going to give me the resultant height. So for example, if you plug in 1 hour, that means your height is now going to be 33 inches. Or if you plug in 2 hours, your height now of that candle is now going to be 30 inches, okay? Now we also have to do this to the other candle. So my other candle has a burn rate of 4 inches per hour. And again, I'm going to be starting at 36 inches. So I'm going to say here, 36 and then minus 4t. Okay. So now think about how you can form an equation so you can solve for t. And you want to solve for when this height right here is going to be twice as much as the height that you have here. How can you form an equation based on that information? Well, let's think about it. If I set them equal to each other, what am I doing? Well, if you set it equal to each other, you're trying to figure out when they're going to be of equal height. And we know that they're going to be of equal height when time is 0, right? At 0 hours, they're both going to be 36 inches, right? So that's not what we're looking for, though. We want to know, again, when this height right here will be twice as much, right, as this height here, okay? And so if we're setting them equal to each other, we're going to have to balance it out. So if I plug in some time here for t, and I get a value here on this side of the equation, I want it to be twice as much as this value right here. And if I'm setting them equal to each other, I'll have to balance it out. So in other words, what you can do here, if I just multiply this side by 2, okay, like this here, what I'm saying here, whatever value I get for a height on the left-hand side, okay, This value here, in order for me to balance it out, I'll have to double it. And that takes care of the requirement of this being twice the height, okay? And so now you can go ahead and solve for t. So to do that, we're gonna have to take this 2 and we're gonna have to distribute inside. So I'm gonna get 36 minus 3t equal to 2 times 36 will give you 72. And then we get minus 8t. And then we're gonna go ahead and clean it up. So I'm gonna move my variables over to the left-hand side, meaning I'm gonna have to add 8t on both sides, and I'm gonna have to subtract 36 on both sides. So for example, when I do that, I'm gonna get 5t equal to 36. And now from here, all you have to do is divide by 5. So if I divide by 5 here and here, I get time, or t, is going to be equal to 7.2. And again, that is going to be in hours, okay? So there's my answer. So to answer the question, the camper has been sleeping for 7.2 hours, okay? And that's it. So again, this was definitely a more challenging type of problem, but you can solve it using algebra. Now, most individuals, when they do this problem, they're gonna wanna guess and check, which is fine. But again, as the numbers become more complex, you're not gonna be able to guess and check, and you wanna be able to utilize a method, such as using an equation, so that you can get the answer every single time, and again, without guessing and checking. All right, so that is it. I hope that you gained something from the video. I hope that you learned something. If the video did in fact help you, if you could just go ahead and give it a thumbs up, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That way you get more math videos in the future, and I'll see you in the next one.